so I'm going to be responding to their claim that moderately increasing wind energy incentives will not effectively reduce fossil fuel consumption. According to The Guardian, which is an environmental blog, they state that over a year, based on the amount of electricity wind is currently generating each day, wind turbines save around 6.1 million tons of carbon dioxide, or about 4% of the UK's emissions from electricity. This is based on CCGT plants emitting around 350 kilograms of CO2 per megawatt hour. So this study showed that in Great Britain, where wind turbines account for about 10% of their power, it is reducing their fossil fuel use. Right now, we don't see a large diversion of wind power and not a big decrease in fossil fuel use because we don't have enough incentives to allow people to switch over. It's not feasible for people to switch over. It's not accessible. So right now, we don't have that decrease in fossil fuels because there's not enough wind power. If you increase the incentives and allow more people to convert to wind power or allow it to be more accessible, you'll create a bigger decrease in fossil fuels altogether. They also state that Denmark sells their energy for a negative cost. This is true, but Denmark, if you compare Denmark and the United States, Denmark has a lot smaller overall land mass than the United States. So the U.S. has a much larger land mass. They also have much higher energy usage, and according to the EPA, the U.S. has the highest energy usage of any country. So we're going to, even if we produce the same amount of them in comparison to our size, we're still going to use it because we have such high energy uses in the United States. In response to their claim that such a policy brings with it downsides, and they address noise pollution, most people that come into contact with wind turbines are not going to come into contact with large turbines. They're going to come into contact with the small scale turbines because most of the large turbines are found in rural areas that are not populated. Few people live near the large turbine farms, so they're going to come into contact with small scale turbines that are in urban areas. In a study done that dealt with noise levels and noise perception from small and micro wind turbines, they found that whether or not an individual can see a wind turbine from their dwelling did not affect their attitudes, nor did it result in increased levels of symptoms reporting. That same study also found that the wind turbines produced a high of 50 decibels, and this is comparable only to about a conversation in the same room or the noise from a busy street outside. So people choose to live in areas where next to a street or where they can hear people talking. So the noise produced from these wind turbines isn't anything irregular or anything that's going to cause them not to want to live there, since they already choose to live in places in urban areas where the noise levels are that high. So our proposed policy of increasing incentives is still feasible and is one of the best solutions to the problems of the fossil fuel crisis and the need for conversion to sustainable energy sources.